Hello, everybody, and welcome to the New Flame Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew, along with Kosin. For now, Kareem should be joining us in around 10 minutes. That's what he said. I'm not sure if Dean will come in, but yeah, it's just us for now. But to accommodate for that and, our more knowledge about the MLB and their less knowledge about the MLB, we thought that we would go ahead and start with that. And to be honest, it's really tough to talk about spring training games when you can't watch them, you can't find clips anywhere, you can't do any of that. But come regular season, we will be having little segments, and especially over the summer when we can upload maybe two, maybe even three episodes a week. That will definitely help us. So I am really excited for this MLB season. Just bear with us for the first, 2 months of baseball season. 3 months really, maybe 3.5. I'm not so sure about it. Let's see, April, May, June. Yeah, first 3 months of baseball season. But come July, August, those 2 months we will be able to do two, maybe even three episodes a week. Talk about things as we want. So just that's just gonna be a change 3 months down the road, 3.5 months down the road, like I was talking about. So it's just really hard to talk about spring training games when you can't watch them, can't find clips, like I was saying. So anyway, for now we can just rely on news and other things like that. Injuries, things like that to get us talking about the MLB. But this past week we have some news coming from minor league baseball. These rules that we will be talking about are going to be implemented in all levels of minor league baseball except for one. Um, except for one. Except for one of these rules, which will be only implemented in the rows or bottom levels of the minor leagues. And let's go ahead and start with that one. The automatic ball and strike system. Now, this has been a controversial topic for the past couple of years now, just because we have the resources to do it, we can do it, and we've seen guys like Angel Hernandez just we've seen Angel Hernandez just be very bad at his job for his entire career. So this would definitely be solve one of those problems, but at the same time, I'm not so sure if I like that because people are always talking about the human element of the game. Like, I don't really. I mean, like, yes, it would benefit. Like guys, we would have less ejections. Because it's just a fact on whether or not it was ball or strike. We wouldn't have as many, like fights or whatever. So it benefits, but it's also negative because like I said, you take out that human element of the game, that human error. I mean, yet again, some are very obvious in that. I don't know, but there are a lot of different ways you can look at this. I think it should just stay in the minor leagues. I don't think it should come to the major leagues. So that's just my personal opinion. I think it'll be good for the minor leagues just because it'll get, like the game going faster, but with the MLB with the major leagues, I don't think this should happen. So Cousin, what do you think about about this first rule that'll only be implemented in the very lowest levels of the minor leagues?
What was the question?
What is your opinion on the automatic ball strike system coming to the very lowest level of the minor
Well,
leagues?
I mean, there's things that can make any errors. So even robots can make errors. So it's hard to say. I mean, I like the old style of play, but it would just cost a lot more to have those sports. It's like, what if they implemented that in Little League? Like the sport would cost like a lot more for that technology. Is I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever think this would ever come to Little League. I don't think
No,
towns would
I'm
have enough
saying like
money for
so
that.
like what if there could be a robot is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the minor league, like Little League, would have uh the resources or the money to do that. So I think just it'll just stay in the minor league baseball. So yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah.
because I
I
feel
mean,
like I hate to
I
say
think
it.
it's
I
worse for the great. No, I think it's worse for the game. Honestly, I don't like it because I like the old style of baseball. I don't want to switch to the technology. I mean, 40 years, I might think about it, but
Yeah,
I don't think now.
yeah,
Especially now in COVID, maybe.
yeah. So
It could help in COVID. I don't know.
I don't know, but um, there's something I was gonna say. Um, something about this. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's probably gonna come up when I'm talking about like some other thing. So, next thing we have larger bases. Now, this is a very good thing, I think, because we've seen how many injuries have come from like base. Along with the larger bases, they're going to be made of a softer material, so this is gonna limit on those problems that we've seen, like sliding to bases, like jammed fingers, broken fingers, things like that. Like you sliding and then your foot or your leg just gets like, it's like things where it just gets stiff and something like that. I don't know, but it'll limit injuries coming into the like sliding into bases, and also with the larger bases that will allow for more stolen bases, a higher stolen percent chances, and a chance to be for the game to be much more fun. Because remember, back in like the 80s, 90s, when Ricky Henderson was playing, we saw people steal upwards of 100 bases a year. Today, the most we'll see from an average player is like, I don't know, 30. Yeah, Ronald Acuna Jr. was like 2 away from a 40-40 season a couple of years ago, but he's just Ronald Acuna Jr. is Ronald Acuna Jr. So I think now with this, we'll see a lot of those guys who are like fringe good base stealers turn into very good base stealers, because instead of being 15 by 15, they're 18 by 18. So that's 3 inches. I think that'll be a very large difference in terms of people trying to slide, getting ins, because like most stolen base attempts, people are out within inches, like that 3 inches, and I think this will just propel players to want to get faster, to read pitchers' breaks better. I think this will push the players to try to steal bases instead of just be like, no, I'm not. I know I'm not gonna make it. So I think this is a good thing. I think this is a very good thing. If out of all these rules that I'm seeing here, this is definitely the best one. Cousin, what is your opinions on the enlarged and softer bases?
I don't really have an opinion. I'm really up for anything. I don't think it's gonna change the game much. I mean, maybe by a matter of like inches. I mean, Javi Bias is gonna have, I think, maybe a little bit
No,
harder
but
of a
you
time.
look at like stolen bases, they take forever to replay because they're out by like 1 inch or half an inch or something crazy like that. So now with this, catchers are gonna have to work harder to strengthen up their arm. Runners might try to work harder to get faster, to get better acceleration, to get to like read the pitcher better. So I think this is a good thing. I think this is a really good thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have mixed feelings. Mixed feelings, but
Yeah. All right. All right. Next up, we have defensive positioning restrictions, meaning that I believe you must have 2 infielders on either side of second base. I want to believe. I think that's one of them. I'm not really sure. All it says here is defensive positioning restrictions. I know one of them. Your infielders, their cleats must be touching the infield dirt or the grass. They cannot be touching the outfield grass, but the infield grass, because remember a couple years ago, Joey Gallo versus the Astros, they had Jose Altuve literally in right field. We've seen the Cubs use 4 outfielders one time, or a couple times. We've seen other teams do this. So this is just going to put a limit on what teams can do with the shift and, like positioning. And so it's kind of like, well, now I think, like players like Joey Gallo that only pull the ball, I think their batting averages are going to go up because, actually, no, I think they'll go up because if they continue to pull the ball or they continue to hit it only to opposite field or anything like that, now there's less room for the ball to get through as a whole, but like also more at the same time. It's really confusing how I'm trying to explain it, but you get what I mean. Like they'll, instead of hitting a brick wall on the right side of second base, they'll be hitting uh, uh, a yarn wall that has some holes in it for the ball to sneak through. So I I think that this I think I don't I'm not really sure how I think about this because I think it'll be good, but at the same time I also worry that like I don't know. Like it's one of those things that's like it's good, but it's also not but it's also bad at the same time. So I definitely think this is just one of those things where it's like it's getting out of hand. We need to put a restriction on it, and that's exactly what the MLB is doing with the defensive positioning restrictions for infielders. Now they haven't said anything about outfielders. I believe also you can only have three outfielders and four infielders at the same time, excluding pitcher and catcher. So you have to have a third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, first baseman, a left fielder, center fielder, right fielder. But I don't think there's anything about the outfielder shift. You might have like a guy in right, like down the line in right. You might have a guy in right center and then center. Um, so I don't know if they said anything about that. I know for sure it's that infield thing. So, yeah, like I said, this really doesn't make much of a difference. You don't see that huge extreme shift for many guys. Like one guy I can name off the top of my head is Joey Gallo, but I can't name many more that teams actually do this for. I'm not sure. Maybe probably some more lefties. Like I'm sure I know like back when David Ortiz was like say David Ortiz was playing, I know teams would probably do that for him. So I really don't know how to feel about this one. It's good and it's also bad at the same time. Um, so I'll also do this next one. These next two also. Like go over pitching. A 15-second pitch clock. I To me that just seems too quick. I think a 20 would be good. Maybe like 23. I know that sounds super random, but I think 15 is too short, and I think 25 is too long. So you meet right in the middle at like 22, 23, 22 and a half or whatever. And I think, wait, would it be? No, it's 10. No, you can be right in the middle at 20. I'm dumb. But I also feel like 20 is a little bit too short, so maybe you bump it up to like 22 and a half. Something like that. I don't know. To me, just 15 just seems way too short to after you pitch the ball and you get it back. 15 may sound like a long time, but it's also not. So, maybe 20. 20 sounds, the more I think about it, 20 sounds better to me. So I think 20 seconds would be good. 15 is just way too short for me. And next, pitchers must step off the rubber to attempt a pickoff, turning back to little league days here. This is bad. This is a big no-no. This is a gigantic no-no.
Terrible. MLB, if you do this, you should be ashamed of yourselves. This is terrible. Like some people like to do pickoffs, so like when they get into like before so like like you get to the set.
Yeah, you get
Like
sad.
some pitchers like so like
Yeah, and then they'll go like
and then,
yeah, and then they'll so like I feel like with stepping off the bait, pitching mound or whatever, it gives the runner it's way too obvious if you're gonna pick off.
There's gonna be like no pickoffs.
Yeah, there's gonna be none.
Is gonna have to do his like thing no first, like constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that'd be the problem.
And also with this, I think stolen bases could go up as well, just because like, once they like start, I can go. It's not like once you see it, because like before in like I know from my experience playing baseball, I'm pretty sure about yours and everyone else who's ever played little league. Once you get to the level that you're able to like actually steal bases, like they tell you as soon as he starts his momentum forward. But now it's gonna be as soon as he lifts his leg, you can go, because they would have to step off.
Okay, if Rob Manfred actually thinks this is a good thing, this guy should be fired.
I mean, he should already be fired for calling a trophy named after himself a piece of metal. So But here's the thing: it's not coming to the MLB. These rules aren't coming to the MLB yet. They're only gonna be in the minor leagues. For now.
Wait, just like hanging out.
Like
No, this is actually MLB baseball.
no. These rules that we've been talking about are only happening in the minor leagues. Some of them
It's
could
just
make their way to the
stupid, though.
majors.
If this makes it to the majors,
No,
I
it's
would
not.
be
It's not.
fired.
And if it does,
That
whoever
would be.
decides that should all be fired.
That means, alright, so the Padres drafted this prospect who stole 140 bags. His name is C.J. Abrams. That means that guy will probably score, steal, 150 bags. That'd be so easy.
Yeah, back to the 1980s. Back to Ricky
Dude, that would
Henderson
be
days.
so stupid.
Yeah,
MLB, if you do this, I literally would hate you.
yeah, this just does not make much sense.
It's
So
like, who actually wants these? I want to see the amount of people that actually want you to step off the rubber so you can get the
pick
runner
off, yeah. So let's.
they would have to reteach them every pickoff move.
Oh yeah, for these. So out of these, let's see, 5 rules here. I like 4 of them. No, I like 3 of them. 2 I don't like is the pitcher stepping off and the automatic ball system. I like that for the minors, not the majors. We're talking about like whether or not these should come to the major leagues. The ones that I think should come to the major leagues are the larger bases and softer bases as well. I think they'll do the softer bases before they do the larger bases. Just because the injury concern and all that. So that should 100% come to the MLB. That just has to happen this year, next year, whenever. Just has to. I like the defensive positioning restrictions. Like I said, the more I think about it, the more I like it. I just think those super shifts that we've seen are just over the top. I think they take a lot of the fun out of the game. Like you'll see.
Francisco Lindor's already came out, and you guys can look it up. Francisco Lindor's statement. He said he doesn't like the shift because he likes the plays that you have to go all out for.
Yeah, because this guy could hit an absolute. Because Joey Gallo is one that can hit the hardest in the league, and he'll hit an absolute rocket. But they were just right there to make an easy catch because the shift.
It's kind of stupid. It's I would rather net them not. It's kind of giving the defense an advantage. They just have a way to because the chances. Wait, I'm gonna look it up. What are the chances of somebody?
Alright, so while you're doing that, I'm gonna continue. So actually, the more I think about it, the less I like it. So that one should stay in the minor leagues or just not happen at all.
I think the chances of somebody hitting into the shift is I think it's 60 something percent.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. And then the 15-second pitch clock, I like the idea of a pitch clock. I don't like how it's 15 seconds. I think 20 seconds is more appropriate, especially for the MLB. So I like 2 of these coming to the majors. 1 should just get rid of entirely, and 2 should just stay in the minors. So yeah, just to clear this off, 2 that should come to the majors are the larger and softer bases. The pitch clock, not the 15-second one, but maybe a 20 or even 20.
You know what the problem is though with bringing the lighter bases? They have to adjust to how hard the base is. So say they have to go to do a play. Say it's super soft, then they have to step.
No, it's good. No, it's not. I probably shouldn't be saying softer. Softer works, but it's more just less. Softer is really the only way to put it, but it's not like it's gonna be so soft that your foot is gonna sink into it. It's just gonna be more
It's a pace. I mean, less injuries is probably the number one thing.
This is why they're doing it, and they want to make the game more exciting.
Also, MLB will be in 18 days. The MLB.
Oh, regular season? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
18 days.
Exciting. So, then the pitch clock should come to the MLB. The defensive restrictions and the automatic ball strike system stay in the minor leagues until they've been worked out and all that. So those I could see possibly coming in 3-4 years, not in the immediate future, but a little ways down the road. Then also the pitcher stepping off the mound just just absolutely get rid of. It's awful. You're bad. You're bad. Just get out. No one likes
If
you.
MLB wants to ruin itself, they'll do those rules. I feel like, because like, who's gonna want to watch somebody like step off and not pick somebody off? Like the pickoff rate would be so low.
Yeah.
Like it would just be pointless at that point. Like who would want to watch baseball?
Yeah.
Like there's no excitement in that.
I get that.
Like I feel like everybody would get so mad.
Yeah, that's why I think it's either just gonna stay in the minor leagues, which it should. It just get rid of it entirely.
Also,
So
you know when like players, like the regular season players, will start playing like actually?
I mean, some already will, but like they're still getting
It's
taken
not
out
like
after like
it's in
five
the
innings.
minors.
I mean, if I had to guess, probably around like a week left. It's much like the NFL preseason. The first like week is all the backups, third strings, fourth strings, just rookies. Like all those guys. Second week, your starters will like play like 5% of the time. Third
Also,
week,
a team I'm scared for that I don't think is going to do as well as they did. I think the Braves are going to have a little harder time this year without Duval.
I don't think
I
he's
think
that much. He did play very well, but I think
okay,
with the
don't get me
addition
wrong, their
of
outfield
Charlie
is
Morton,
stacked.
but I think with the
Yeah,
addition of Charlie Morton and Christian Pache, coming in playing more, I think will be important. So,
alright,
um,
don't get me wrong. Alright, this outfield's pretty stacked. Christian Pache, Ozuna, NDR, Ender NDR too, Acuna. That's a stacked outfield. But the problem I have is their infield. I mean, they have Acuna and Freeman, but that's.
I
I mean,
mean
Damon
Freeman,
Swanson's not enough.
Freeman, Albies, Swanson played very well last year. And their
Yeah,
third
but
base
it
is a
was
little
a
bit of a
60
mess. We
game.
don't know who exactly
I
it's gonna
hate how
be.
everybody's like, oh, because it was a 60-game season, they were actually champions. I really don't count that a season. I mean, to be honest, it was a 60-game split. I mean,
Ooh.
if you think about it, there was barely any streaks. That really happened.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, Kareem is
Because,
here
like,
now.
you gotta get hot.
Yeah. Kareem is here now. This is exciting news. First time, Kosin and Kareem are on the show together. Yo, what is up? Alright. Anyway, that is gonna do for the MLB section. Onto the NFL. And first, before we get into a lot of signings, I guess not signings, a lot of cuts, a lot of things, that's, this, that's, everything. Let's talk about something a little unorthodox. CBS Sports, they did a jersey bracket. I found out about this just like a couple, like a couple days ago, and I found out, Kosin, it's on the link that I sent you. I sent you a link. So yeah, just look there, and it should have all the signings. It should be completely up to date. So yeah, yeah.
Like on Gmail?
No, I sent it through a text.
Right.
Alright.
Oh, did you guys get the Drew Brees thing in?
Yeah.
No, we haven't talked about that yet. We haven't talked about any NFL stuff yet. Alright. Let's talk about the jersey bracket first. Alright, so sorry for that awkward cut, a little bit thing happened there. So anyway, the jersey bracket for CBS Sports, the Chargers powder blue won, and in the finale it was Chargers versus Chargers. The Chargers powder blue and the Chargers dark blue uniforms, which we're going up against the Dolphins aqua, and probably a little bit of bias here. Come on, those aqua jerseys are so nice. I don't, like, how did those dark blue, like, they're nice, but, like, I just don't, I think it should be a darker, I think it should be closer to navy. Like, it kind of looks like there's, like, a gray-blue mix, but I think it should be more of a navy blue. So, I think the Dolphins aqua should have beaten that. Now, should they have beaten the powder? Would they have beaten the powder blue jerseys? Probably not. So I definitely agree that the Chargers powder blue jerseys are beautiful. They are top 5 jerseys in the league, if not the best, like CBS Sports said. So yeah, just a little fun thing that I found out about when I was looking up just NFL news. There's so much to talk about, and I just found that, so that was a little interesting. So now
Let's get into it.
into the meat and potatoes. So we have the NFL free agency tracker here up on ESPN. Let's scroll all the way back down to the things that we stopped that we did not talk about last week. So which will be on March 5th, I want to say. Um let's see. I'm trying to scroll back. Trent Brown, Rose Dunlap. Okay, there's the Dak. Oh, there's that. Okay, I found it. It's all the way back to Washington Place's franchise tag on Brandon Scherf. So if you guys want to scroll all the way down there, I'll give you time for that. So, yeah. Just let me know when you get there.
I got there.
Okay. Kareem, let me know when you get there. Kareem, you there? My guy? Okay. Alright.
I'm gonna just do it on my phone. Who cares?
Yeah, it's a little bit easy. Phone might die if I'm being honest, so I don't know. Alright, so it's back on Washington Place's franchise tag on Brandon Scherf. Let me just make sure that the BJ Finney. Yeah, alright. And some of the stuff that isn't important we won't talk about. Like, some of the things just, like, are not. Like, no one, like, just. Things will just be like, yeah, good signing, like, this, that, whatever, so.
I have a question. So, are we talking about last week? Like, last week?
This past week. This past week.
Alright.
Alright, Kareem, are you there?
Oh, I'm still scrolling.
Oh, it is a pretty far way down.
Wait, okay, past Cam Newton, yeah.
Cam Newton news was on, like.
You saw that. Ray McLeod, yeah, hold on. I'm still
Yeah, like,
scrolling.
Ray McLeod will just be like, yeah, he's a good returner. What, Kareem?
March what?
It's right above the March 5th thing. So it's like March 5th, Texans sign ex-Seahawks center Justin Britt. Then the thing above it is Washington places franchise tag on Brandon Scherf. See that?
Sure, yeah, I'm here.
Alright. Let me just go ahead and do that. Alright. So, the NFL free agency tracker, like I said, is what we are using here. And first thing that we have not talked about is Washington places the franchise tag on Brandon Scherf. One of the better guards. Yeah, guards in the league. And he'll just help out that Washington O-line that could use a little bit of help, if I'm being honest. So, expect them to go after, a little, maybe draft one. Maybe they'll get Darisaw, I believe his name is. So, maybe they'll get him at 19, but they do need a wide receiver. So, like Rashad Bateman or Kadarius Toney could fall to them and could be a good fit. So Brandon Scherf is going to be there for at least the next season in Washington. Big pot to that offensive line, and he's going to need to help the Washington football team if they want to make a repeat for the division crown. Not much to talk about there. It's offensive lineman. No one really notices, even though he is one of the best linemen in the game. So, yeah, like I said, not much to talk about. And the next thing, I want to be happy about this, but I can't. Isaiah Wilson, former first-round pick of the Tennessee Titans, is now a Miami Dolphin. So if you don't know about Isaiah Wilson, let me tell you about him. He was an offensive tackle at Georgia for the Bulldogs, drafted 29th overall by the Tennessee Titans last year. Played a total of 3 snaps for them. Oh, hey, so Tori just texted me, said that she needs that I wait, hold on. Hold on, let me just text her back real quick. Okay, so that was at like 20, not 28. Okay, sorry, she is being weird. Okay, so anyway, sorry for that awkward cut. Yeah, so Isaiah Wilson to Miami Dolphins. They just swapped 7th rounders, and I want to be happy about this. I want to be happy about this because obviously he has to be decent enough to be taken in the first round, but at the same time he had so many off the field problems last year. I think it was a DUI, which like suspended him for a while. Then he's just messed up. Then he only played a total of 3 snaps. 2 of them were kneels. One of them was a field goal in which he completely got bullied. By the way, so I don't know what to think about this, man, because this wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a career resurgence heading from, dealing with the Titans and Dolphins. This brings back painful memories with Ryan Tannehill. But anyway, Isaiah Wilson, if we're lucky, he will be an okay starter for us. I think he can be coached up. I think that just one thing led to another for him. Then the whole thing with his tweet with I'm done with football with Titans. Then he deleted it instantly. So there was just a whole lot of messed up things with him last year. Hopefully, in Miami with Brian Flores, he can just hit that reset button and start up his career 1 year into it. So, how about this? We'll go through 3 topics. We'll all break down, and then you guys can give your opinions on them. So the last thing in this little chunk will be Marcus May getting the franchise tag, and this is one of those guys that if the Jets want to keep, if they want to be competitive, 2-3 years down the road, they're gonna want to keep him long term. So they're obviously gonna try to reach a multi-year contract with him, this upcoming season. And if they can't, they will regret it. He is a very good safety. With how loaded safety is, he's probably top 10, but that's saying a lot because of how stacked safety is. So Marcus May is definitely one of the better safeties, like I was saying. So I think the Jets need to keep him long term if they want to be competitive, 2-3 years. So those 3 first things out of the way, why don't we go ahead and start with Kareem, back from a little hiatus off of being on the show. Why don't you start off with your opinions on these moves?
Okay, so Marcus May, obviously one of the top safeties in the league. Yeah, like you said, if the Jets want to stay competitive, well, I guess not stay competitive team.
Yeah, just be competitive in the next few years.
You gotta have obviously a good defensive backfield. So Marcus May, obviously, who they had before, obviously, as I said, one of the better safeties. It's obviously, I don't think there's really anyone else on their team they could have franchise tagged. But Marcus May is also a top talent in the league. Just because he was supposed to be an unrestricted free agent for the first time, and he's the first Jets player to receive the or not, no, never mind. Don't listen to whatever I said. But Marcus May, obviously, the Jets need him really. Without him, the defensive backfield's really
they have nothing.
Honestly,
they got rid of Jamal Adams. Well, imagine if they still had Jamal Adams. Marcus May. Well, that'd be insane.
Top 2 safeties in the NFL.
Oh yeah, that'd be the best safety duo in the league. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They couldn't afford to keep Marcus May and Jamal Adams on one team.
Yeah. They are New York. They have the money.
They got the money. It's New York.
Although the salary cap did
go down. It
to 182. Yeah, from around 200 to
180.
Yeah, now it's 182. So. Anyway, and any thoughts on the painful trade, Isaiah Wilson?
For you?
Yeah, painful.
I think 3 snap thing is just funny.
It is. But for a first round pick, he played 3 snaps. Hey, it's better than Jordan Love, who played 0, was never active for a game. So it's better.
Jordan Love was never active for a game.
They're waiting on Jordan Love.
Yeah, we all know that.
So I think they'll have to move on eventually with Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? Maybe they give Jordan Love a shot when he's 28.
That'd be funny.
That'd be actually pretty cool.
That'd be a raw moment.
I'd be like, wow, great job, Green Bay.
First round pick sitting on the bench for 5 years.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Do you know what the funny thing about that is?
What
if Aaron Rodgers sucks and they still stick with him?
Oof,
what about that wasted time?
Tough.
That would be a tough time.
Alrighty, next couple things, we got a trade, we got a signing, and we got a release. First, we'll start with the most minor thing. Carlos Dunlap being released from the Seattle Seahawks actually had a decent season with them last year. Obviously, more known for being with the Bengals, but had a pretty nice season after being traded to the Seattle Seahawks at the trade deadline or a week before, whenever it was. So I think this is just another. Most of these releases that we're seeing now, it's not because they're bad. It's because salary cap problems, saving $14 million for them this year. So I think teams that that need a pass rusher. I mean, teams that need a defense. I mean, Titans come to mind. They really need a pass rusher. So I think Carlos Dunlap, wherever he goes, he may be a little older. I think he's only around like 33, 34. But he can. Oh, he's 32. Okay, he can still produce at a medium to high level for a team. So I definitely think whoever signs him will be very happy with their investment. Probably 2-3 year deal for him. Next we got Trent Brown going back to the Patriots. And I remember 2019 was with the Patriots, won the Super Bowl with them and all that. Was traded or signed with the big contract with the Raiders. He was decent. He was okay. I mean, Trent Brown is pretty good. But they just don't have the money, I guess. So, with building the stadium and moving to Vegas and all that, just did not have the money. So they're shipping him back to New England. In exchange, the Raiders are getting Brown and Patriots are sending a 2022 fifth for the Raiders for exchange for Brown and a 2022 seventh. So Pat's O-line, it's always been known for being good. Obviously, you know that that Tom Brady pocket time. So Trent Brown's, he's a big boy. He is a big boy. He will bully you at the offensive line. So I think they with the re-signing of Cam, I think they're going to put Cam Newton back there. He restructured his deal with the Patriots to become a 1 year, $11 million contract. So, it's a good trade for both sides. Raiders get a salary dump, and the Patriots get a pretty good offensive tackle. And, good trade for both sides. And the Pats don't have to give up much. It's a 5th round pick. So,
also, another thing, they also traded for Marcus Cannon.
Who? Yeah. The Pats?
Yeah.
Wasn't he also on the Patriots before?
I don't really.
Bro, next they're gonna sign Joe Thuney back.
I'm quite sure.
I swear, they're gonna sign him back. I'm calling it. Oh yeah, they were just gonna trade for Tom Brady back. It's just a fact. They're gonna trade Cam Newton and whoever their tight end is for Tom Brady and Gronk. It's just a.
They'll trade 20,000 first round picks.
For Tom Brady.
Patriots agreed to trade him to the Texans.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure he went to the Texans. I was about to say something. But next, probably the biggest one out of all of these, Lane Dakota Prescott is back with the Cowboys for the next 4 years. 4 years, $160 million, and I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but I think he's making $75 million this year. That's absurd, bro. That's insane.
And
Messi still makes more. Nice. And so anyway, $75 million this year, probably in the 60 the next year, then 50, then 40. I don't know the exact numbers with it. So Lane Dakota Prescott is a rich man now, very rich man. So 4 years, $160 million. I think this is what both parties wanted. I believe Dak actually wanted a 5-year contract, but I think, remembering back to this win, I guess it's still the win too, but this winter with DJ LeMahieu, he wanted a certain amount of money, and the Yankees wanted a certain length of a contract. So this was much of a similar situation. Dak wanted 5 years and this amount, and a certain amount, but the Cowboys were just worried about keeping him and paying him whatever he wants. So Jerry Jones finally decided to cough up the money and paid to Dak. Top 10 quarterback in the league. If you don't disagree, you're wrong. I think the Cowboys, they just need to get it done. I don't think, $75 million, a little bit overpaying for that guy. So I think I think overall this is a good move. I don't think. I think you look at Dak's value and you're like, is he worth 75 million? Absolutely not. Is he worth, if you were just if you would just just talk about like just general worth 160 million, yeah, that's fine for with me. 4 years, so I believe he's like what 25, so they'll have him until he's around 30. In which he'll still be, probably at the end of his prime, but he'll still be able to make a lot of money after that. So if the Cowboys want to keep him, they want to let him go. It's all up to them at that point. So I Dak Prescott, I mean, he's a Cowboy for the next 4 years, and that is a fact. And he also has a no trade clause in there, so it's not like they could just trade him if they wanted to. So, um, good good deal for both teams. Cowboys, I mean, he takes up like what, a little bit less than half of their salary cap this year, so that's a little bit of a problem. But it descends over time. So what do you guys think of these three deals? The main one obviously being that Dak Prescott deal.
I think Dak was overpaid. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, 75 million is just way too much. He's just not worth that.
I don't think. I mean, you say he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, but I think I don't know. It's hard to say because they go 8-8. It feels like every.
I mean, it doesn't help that their defense is trash and Jerry Jones is the owner.
I don't think they're.
And they had Mike McCarthy as a coach, so I mean, and this year Dak was hurt.
I think it's coach. I think it's just a coach. Not gonna lie. I think their defense has Byron. No, not Byron Jones.
I mean, it did.
Trevon Diggs.
Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence. They tried adding Dontari Poe, but that did not work. I mean, they were hurt this year. The O-line was hurt this year, so, I mean, I don't blame Dak too much for that. And Dak was out since week 5, so.
Zeke, this is probably the worst season I've ever seen from Zeke.
I mean, no, that's without a doubt. He had a big fumbling problem this year, so. I don't think Zeke will be this bad again. I think when he's healthy and his O-line is healthy, a running back is only as good as his offensive line. So I think he'll be able to turn back next year, and getting Dak back will obviously help. And so, I really like the Cowboys' offense. I really like their 3 receivers. I like CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. I like Dalton Schultz as well. I don't like Zeke as a person. He's a good player. I mean, he can be when his offensive line is healthy. Dak, like I said, is top 10 in the league, so, that the problem is going to be on that defense, and they're probably going to get either Patrick Surtain or Caleb Farley in the draft at number 10. So I think next year their defense could be okay, and with the Eagles and Giants being very bad, I think they could very easily win this division. The only tough part is going to be getting past the Washington football team. So yeah. Kareem, what do you think about these deals?
Dak's getting his money. What can I say?
Yeah, that's what he wanted.
I mean, you might think he's getting overpaid, and I might agree with you. I mean, it's like the Cowboys I think are giving him way too much.
They're lost.
No, you're only focusing on that 75 million this year. That is way too much. I will agree.
I'm still thinking 160 is too much for Dak.
Whoa.
Even if it was split even amongst the
40 million. Whoa, you're thinking? So you're telling me
as much as Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes, first of all, is getting like 60 million. First of all,
Dak gets like sent home in the first round every time in the playoffs.
But here's the thing.
He hasn't done anything yet.
I mean, I could think, his rookie year, Jared Cook just saved the Packers, as Jared Cook just saved the Packers in that first game. This year, you can't blame 2020 on Dak. He was hurt. 2019, I'm trying to think. Did they went 8-8 and missed the playoffs, right? In 2019. 2018, they made the playoffs, right? And then they lost to like the Seahawks or something.
I don't think they made the playoffs in 2018. No, they didn't.
2017, I know they made it in 2016 and 17. 18 and 19.
That's when Dak Prescott could actually be elite.
But here's the thing. their defenses haven't been good. Now, I'm not going to go on a whole rant and be like, oh, the Cowboys are actually really good because they're not a top team in the NFL. They're just good enough to make the playoffs, but I think with the right pieces around Dak, I think with a healthy offensive line, a healthy Zeke.
Ever think of this? I think that Dak is a problem, actually.
I don't know if he's a problem.
I think he's just he's just an average quarterback in my books.
Oh my! I'm about to remove you from this meeting.
Bro, okay,
Get removed.
Let me explain. This man has CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz.
Okay. First of all. No, Dalton Schultz wasn't the starter past couple of years. He had CeeDee Lamb for 5 weeks before he got hurt. And here's the thing, and they didn't have CeeDee Lamb last year. Last year, Michael Gallup couldn't catch a single thing. And Amari Cooper was battling with injuries, so was Zeke, so was the offensive line. So I think a healthy Cowboys team can make the playoffs and can win that division.
They proved they can't be healthy.
A healthy Cowboys team has not proved anything except getting sent home in the first round. You know who didn't get sent home in the first round? Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
That's who didn't get sent.
But here's the thing.
And Pittsburgh.
Okay, but here's the thing. I mean, I'm not gonna win this argument. Cowboys are not a top 10 team. They're probably 11 or 12. Maybe could make the case for 10, but I don't think so. I think the healthy Cowboys team. And with a good coach. Also, problem has to be with the coaching. I don't think Mike McCarthy is a good coach. I don't think Jason Garrett was a good coach.
Why do you think he got fired in 2018? He's just not a good coach anymore.
I mean, wasn't that the year Aaron Rodgers was hurt as well, though? So, like...
Oh, Aaron Rodgers wasn't hurt that year.
Oh, I thought he was. So, anyway, but still, Mike McCarthy is not a good coach. Jason Garrett was not a good coach. So, I think the problem with this team comes down to coaching, as with many teams. So, I think that with a good coach and a healthy team and drafting and getting help on that defense will help a lot. You also got to look at free agency. Rashaan Evans, I believe, is a free agent. He could be a very good pickup. He's a really good coverage linebacker. Kyle Van Noy is a free agent now. So I think there are ways that this team can improve this year. And I think they will win the division next year. I think they will, depending on how they do it, they could get a first round bye. So, boom, just like that, into the divisional round. So, because you look at the NFC, it's pretty weak besides the teams that you know are good. And then the rest are just okay.
There's no way that they could beat Green Bay and...
I'm not saying they're going to beat Green Bay. I'm saying they could beat teams.
There's no
like...
way they get that bye. Let's look at their schedule. Cowboys schedule.
But here's the thing. You also have to look at how bad the rest of the NFC is. NFC West is going to be good, okay? All of those teams are going to be good, okay? But you look at the NFC North. There's only one good team in that division, and that is the Packers. You look at the NFC South. There's only one good team. Yes, I don't think the Saints will be good next year. I don't think
these are their games this year.
All right.
Okay. It is Cowboys, Broncos, Colts, Chiefs, Chargers, Giants, Broncos, Chiefs, again, Chargers.
Wait, why do they play the Chargers and Chiefs twice? What is happening?
I don't know.
Okay, we are spending way too much time on this. Oh my. Okay, let's go over the schedule and then we gotta move on. We were spending way too much time on this.
Yeah. Alright, so I want to talk about the Bears right now.
Okay.
So,
I mean, we kind of do have more things, but okay, continue.
It's looking weird about the Bears right now.
Russell Wilson.
Okay, yes, I do like that, but the problem I have right now, Allen Robinson said he was not going to sign that franchise tag. But
he has to. Franchise tag is like a thing that the team says you franchise tag you there next year. A player cannot reject a
he can hold out.
No, he can sit out. Holding out is like where you don't play because you want a contract. Allen Robinson would just sit out because he doesn't want to play for Chicago. He would be holding out for a trade there.
We just don't give him money. The problem is we need to pay the man. We just cleared $23 million in cap space.
Because you're gonna trade for Russell Wilson.
Because we restructured Cody Whitehair, Eddie Jackson, and Khalil Mack's contract, so we just saved $23 million. But then we also signed Mario Edwards for a 3-year deal worth $11.5 million. But the problem I have with this is, I'm just like, okay, so say we franchise tag Allen Robinson, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna still stay mad at Chicago? I mean, I want Russell Wilson, don't get me wrong, but I mean, for 5 first-round picks, I would rather just go trade up in the draft. I think that would make more sense.
I mean, I don't think Russell Wilson is going to get 5 first-round picks. So anyway, back onto schedule now. We have Buccaneers are going to franchise tag wide receiver Chris Godwin. He's going to be their number 2 receiver behind Mike Evans. Could obviously have a 1,000-yard season with Tom Brady throwing the ball to him. So him and Mike Evans and Gronk and Fournette and Ronald Jones is a good trio there in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady and that good offensive line. So I think they want to sign him long term. I think he is gonna be a good option there. I was kind of expecting him to hit the free agency market but I think he realized that he's kind of underrated because he has to, because like with all the people on that Tampa Bay team, he knew that he would probably get the most money from Tampa Bay. So he was like, all right, I'm not ready to sign a contract just yet. So they franchise tagged him. Steelers won't franchise tag Bud Dupree. He's very good. I think, however, I do think he very much helped from having Cameron Hayward and T.J. Watt on the opposite ends. So I think you have to pair him up with another good edge rusher. So I think Bud Dupree can be good, but he just has to have a good team around him as well. Next franchise tag, we got Cam Robinson from the Jags. Quietly has been a pretty decent offensive lineman for the Jags past couple of years. So, they're just gonna protect Trevor Lawrence once he arrives in Jacksonville. So I think I think a lot of these teams want to re-sign these guys long term unless they're older, and Cam Robinson is not. I believe he's like 26. I want to say maybe. So Cam Robinson can definitely be good, but yeah, I think Cam Robinson will eventually sign long term with the Jags. Rapid fire. I'm just gonna go start, just firing these off. Not super important. Actually, you know what? Actually, these are probably all pretty important. So, Kareem, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the next 3 moves, which is being we got 2 franchise tag news and some other random news that just came out of nowhere.
Wait, before we go on, we're on the Chargers thing, right?
Yeah, Hunter Henry. So you'll talk about Hunter Henry, Kenny Golladay, and Kyle Long.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so for the Los Angeles Chargers, obviously tight end Hunter Henry won't be franchise tagged as he was before. So obviously he's still one of the better tight ends in the league. He had a really good season with Justin Herbert having 60 receptions. He's really young. Turned 27 back last year in December. So I mean, there's better guys on their team that are obviously more talented at what they do than Hunter Henry, but Hunter Henry's meant a lot to the Chargers in the past. Obviously, he had to sit with Antonio Gates for a lot, so obviously that really, really helps his production. That's why a lot of, you'll see a lot of teams with younger quarterbacks bringing older guys. A lot of teams with younger quarterbacks bringing guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Alex Smith or something like that. So, I mean, I feel like Hunter Henry is one of the more underrated tight ends in the league. Like, if you ask, people, about tight ends, they'll be like Travis Kelce, George Kittle,
Gronk.
Gronk. Yeah.
No one will talk about, the Hunter Henrys and the Darren Wallers and the Mike Gesicki's.
He's definitely a really, really, really talented tight end. I'm not sure why the Chargers aren't going to use the tag on him. I'm trying to think of anyone else that was going unrestricted or restricted, and they can use it on for this year. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna pass this on to Andrew though to see what he thinks about this move by the Chargers.
Now, Hunter Henry, like you said, has quietly been one of the best tight ends in the league. Mike Sicky's still better. Anyway, back from that. I think teams that could use a tight end, the Seahawks, whenever a tight end is in talk, the Seahawks will be one of the first teams that's brought up. But a team that I think could really benefit from having Hunter Henry is going to be the Tennessee Titans. And you'll be like, oh, they have Johnny Smith. He's pretty decent, but he's a free agent, so they. I know that's what I was talking about. So they just pretty much improve that position with Hunter Henry, and I think he's a pretty good scheme fit for them. Oh, Kareem, just leave and then come back. That normally works. Oh, I should probably say that in the chat. But yeah, I think they just replace Johnny Smith and just upgrade him with Hunter Henry. So I think that could be a move. Obviously, the Seahawks need a tight end. Trying to think what other teams need a tight end. AFC South, Colts. Colts could use a good receiving tight end. Obviously, they have Jack Doyle, who's a good blocker. So just you look around the league. Some teams, because like there's either like really good tight ends and really bad tight ends in the league. So Hunter Henry is definitely in that upper area of tight ends in the league. So yeah. Next, we got let's skip up to this completely random news. Kyle Long is going to be unretiring from football. Offensive lineman was pretty good back when he played. Now I don't know how much of an impact he's gonna have this year. He's probably just gonna go ring chasing now. So not a whole lot to talk about there. But the next one we got Lions will not be franchise tagging star receiver Kenny Golladay. Top 10 receiver in the league. Kenny Golladay, yeah, I'm just throwing them out. I don't know if that's really a hot take or anything. I don't know. Kenny Golladay is very good when healthy, and I think him and Marvin Jones will both leave Detroit. So I think Kenny Golladay could go to it. I've said this all the time. I think Kenny Golladay to Baltimore makes the most sense out of this stacked wide receiver class, even though it has dwindled down a little bit now. But
even Des Bryant said Baltimore's just not a great wide receiver place. Because I don't think he'd fit good there. Because Lamar Jackson just runs, and I don't think he would like.
But here's the thing, yes, I understand what Des was saying. They just didn't have good wide receiver room, but a lot of the thing with Lamar Jackson running has to do with his wide receivers just not getting open. And yes, Kenny Golladay won't create a lot of separation, but he is one of those guys you can just lob it up to and he's going to catch it. So I think a guy like that for Lamar Jackson could really help his, his throwing development as an actual quarterback. So I definitely think that with that, could be a very good move. That's still my prediction. It's been my prediction since the start. So I definitely think that is something that is going to happen. At least it should. I don't know if it will, but that is my prediction. I think it will, and I think it should. So Kenny Golladay won't be franchise tagging. He's probably gonna leave Detroit. Detroit is just a mess. Who's gonna be the starting receiver next year? Quentin Cephas? Is that who it's gonna be? Quentin Cephas, what a name. Most likely. Because Marvin Jones ain't coming back either. It's going to be Quentin Cephas.
They're going to have to drop. No, they're going to have. It might be Marvin Hall.
Even worse.
Marvin Hall's with the Browns.
Oh, he is? Oh, Kareem, your audio is really bad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like AirPod quality. Alright, so anyway. Yeah. Next, we got franchise tag. Now, I know this is a guy that Kareem kind of wanted. Marcus Williams from the Saints. He will be franchise tagged. And for a team that's, very much just not ideal in a situation with cap space, I don't know why they're using a franchise tag, which franchise tags are normally very expensive, but safety Marcus Williams is Yeah, and yet another one of these great safeties, even though his career will all be summed up in
Oh,
one
I know.
play.
Alright, so they got Danny Amendola and Geronimo Allison.
Oh, they have Geronimo
And,
Allison since when? Last time I checked, he
and
was on the
Mohamed
Packers.
Sanu and Tyrell Williams.
Oh, wait, I forgot they added Tyrell Williams, so he will probably be their number one.
And TJ Hawkinson. So.
Yeah,
But
fantasy next year, Jared Goff
I think
loves
they're
tight
going to be
ends.
another mean team. The Lions, I think, will never be a good team. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, no. Especially no Jared Goff.
They've been always trashed. If you can run freaking Barry Sanders out of your team, you're just like trash.
Yeah, so anyway, Marcus Williams, even though he is a great safety, his career will always be summed up with one play, and that being the Minnesota Miracle, Minneapolis Miracle, whatever you want to call it. It's fine with me, but he's just another one of these great safeties that no one talks about because safety is a very slept-on position in the NFL. So I think he will, if he does get signed back long term, I think that'll be a great move by the not Vikings, they're next on the list, but by the Saints. For a team trying to get out of what is known as cap hell, I think signing back him will be like, even though it won't help, but it'll help with their team building. So definitely Saints. This is a good move. Even though I would have liked to seen them go ahead and get that deal done now instead of wait a year. So yeah. Next we have the Vikings releasing Dan Bailey. Now, if I remember correctly, he missed like 4 field goals in a game. So, this was a long time coming. He's 33. Vikings have never had good kickers, if we're being honest. Blair Walsh. So anyway. Yeah, it's not like they're saving a bunch of money by doing this or anything like that. It's just, get off my team. We don't want you. You're bad. We can just draft one in the 6th round. So anyway, yeah. That's really all that's going on there in Minnesota. Next, Falcons released veteran guard James Carpenter, saving $4 million. Don't know much about him. I'm not going to say anything I don't know, so, Yeah. Next, we got Browns, Kareem, release Adrian Claiborne, saving around $3 million cap space, 32 years old, and, I never heard from him. Wasn't he used to be on the Saints? Wasn't he, like, pretty good on the Saints?
The Falcons.
The Falcons, that's what it was. So, I think he was just an afterthought with Ogunjobi, Garrett, and Vernon. So they were like, you know what? You haven't done much for us. You're taking up $3 million of our dollars. Bye. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with this because now, you can sign Carlos Dunlap if you want. I mean, if you're gonna look Olivier Vernon,
yeah, he'll be a nice replacement.
Dunlap's, he's right there.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Giants working on a deal. Giants tag Leonard Williams after working on a deal. So this was just a case of they could not get a deal done, so they franchise tag you. We'll get this done next year, much like what the Cowboys did with Dak Prescott, top 10 quarterback in the league. Cosen, not average. He is a very much above average. So yeah. So Giants, Leonard Williams is a
average.
Man, I don't know about that. So anyway, Leonard Williams is a very good defensive lineman, defensive end. I'm not really sure what he is. To be honest, here it says defensive tackle, but I thought he played defensive end with the Giants and Jets past couple of years, so I don't really know.
Jets.
Yeah, so.
Holy, their defense could have been scary.
And Quinnen Williams.
Leonard Williams, Marcus May.
Leonard Williams? You mean Quinnen Williams?
Or Quinnen Williams and Leonard Williams.
Remember
Yeah.
Leonard Williams, Jamal Adams, and they also had Le'Veon Bell. When they added Le'Veon Bell, CJ Mosley, and Williams, they just took off. Everyone's like, wow, this team is gonna be so good. And then
Yeah. All right, next, heading out to the West with the Seahawks. Won't be franchise tagging Chris Coulson. And please, after missing out on Aaron Jones, please go to Miami, Chris.
Also, what happened to Demaryius Thomas? Does anybody know?
He got hurt and then he retired.
Did he retire?
I'm pretty sure. And why though? Why did Demaryius Thomas come to your mind?
I don't know. Because he could have been such a great asset if he didn't
Yeah.
retire.
Alright, unfortunately, Kareem had to go do something, so very sad. Hopefully, he'll be able to. We are recording this late, so you know.
Oh, Demarius Thomas also was on the Jets, so.
Oh, yeah. Alright, next. But we got Chris
also,
Coulson.
Another thing, about Russell Wilson, that's cooking. So he likes the offensive line and stuff. We all know this.
Yeah.
The thing he likes, is they're just one good move away. He thinks from a big thing. So they like the offensive line stuff, but they think that he'll probably go to the Bears. Also, another thing. Do you know how the Aaron Rodgers rumors and stuff, how he was gonna get traded?
Yeah.
And how the team came out and him. It's like, yeah, I'm not getting traded. The Seahawks aren't doing that, where they're not declining those rumors like the
Yeah,
Packers.
and I'm pretty sure I saw something. I'm not completely sure if it was completely true, but there was a letter that went out to Seahawks season ticket holders, and it was it mentioned DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the defense, but it didn't say Russell Wilson, who carried you for first 7 weeks of the season.
So I think he's definitely on the move.
Yeah, and my predictions of him not being traded. That's a yikes. That's a yikes. I said with full confidence that he would not get traded, and here we are.
This is 100% now that he's definitely gonna get traded now. So because J.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, and Aaron Donald, no way you're staying. That's a division. If they don't want to give you help, then that's no go for them. So
and possibly if he stays with Seattle, he probably won't have his All-Pro. I'm pretty sure All-Pro running back Chris Coulson.
He left. He left.
No, he could still sign a long-term deal. He could be like Aaron Jones. So, but please, after missing out on Aaron Jones, Chris Coulson, I'm begging you to go to Miami. We need a running back, and I do like Najee Harris, but I think Chris Coulson is better now. So, I definitely do think we could use him. So.
We also talked about. Did we talk about the Saints?
Now, yeah, we're making our way up the article here. Packers won't. We don't need to talk about that because we all know what happened. Levante David, top linebacker in the league, heading back to Tampa Bay on a 2-year, $25 million deal.
Dolphins. Rest in peace, Dolphins.
Yeah, we literally cut Kyle Van Noy for no reason. I'm pretty sure we talked about this last week, but if we didn't, good move by the Bucs, top linebacker in the league at coverage. He's not so great of a pass rusher, but that's why they have Shaquille Barrett. So I definitely think that it's a good deal, not too expensive, $12.5 million a year. It's just one of those contracts where it's he's good right now, but give it 3-4 years, he won't be super great. So it's just one of those. Yeah, we'll get you until you're not producing at a high level anymore. Next one, we got Titans releasing Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. He's not good anymore. He's just not good. I think they traded for him from the Pats, and, he was still pretty decent, from him, saving, $10.2 million this year, so that can help them re-sign Rashaan Evans or anyone like that, or sign Bud Dupree, someone like that. So, definitely a good move. They're probably going to be targeting a cornerback in the draft or in free agency now. So, that Titans defense needs as much help as it can get. And honestly, releasing Malcolm Butler is a good move. Because anyone they get will be good. Better than him. So, we already talked about the salary cap decreasing.
Well, I wanna talk about now. What I want to talk about is going over the Saints. Saints are a laughing stock right now, man. Literally, I can't believe the Saints right now.
Well, they just they released Emmanuel Sanders, which is
It's just it was more of a joke. It literally says this was a joke for a contract.
What does?
Who gives about Taysom Hill's contract?
Wait, Taysom Hill, what?
So he signed a 4-year, $140 million contract.
That is funny. That is funny. That is pretty funny. Oh, that's hilarious.
The article literally says it's a joke.
That is actually hilarious.
And then right at the top article, Ian Rappaport says Jameis Winston is likely the starter.
I mean, he
But
can be
you're
good,
paying,
you know. He
you're
can be
paying
good.
140 million for a guy that's not even going to be a starter. Are you serious? Are you joking? I is he like what? Like are the
Yes.
Saints and
So
then the
now
Brees?
with
Alright, so first it starts off with Drew Brees. Yeah, he announces his retirement, and then it just goes up the list. Okay, Taysom Hill signs a 4-year 140. 4-year 140.
that's
Wait, let's
20
do the
million
math.
less than Dak. And we got Taysom Hill down here. This is below the scene where you can't even, and then Dak's like up here, you know. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious.
What is that? What is that? 4
But like,
years.
wait, no. But I think I saw actually when I saw it. I think it said like it's actually because like Tom Brady technically signed a 4-year extension, but through all this magic cap space and manipulation service time and all this, it's actually only a 1-year extension.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like that because it just helps clear out cap space. NFL cap is weird, man.
Alright, no, the Saints use this extension to spread out Hill's cap hit for 2021 over the next 4 years. This extension does have real aspects to it, including 9.7 signing bonus, a 1.4 guaranteed roster bonus, and 1 million guaranteed. It clears $7.4 million.
See, that's what I was saying. It's like Tom Brady's extension.
It's that much for this dude doesn't deserve to be getting 35 million for to be a tight end / quarterback
Slash punt, slash kick returning, slash everything.
Okay, if we can't pay every wide receiver, like every star wide receiver in the game, like 50 million, then why are we paying this? Like, that's so stupid. How is this guy making over every single wide receiver in the game?
I don't know,
That
man.
is, that is,
I mean, a lot of very good wide receivers are, you know, like still on rookie contracts. So they signed a contract when they weren't so good. Now they're really good. You know, like Michael Thomas.
I'm just like the Saints are just like they're just lost.
They're gonna be riding on the backs of Alvin Kamara next year. That's all we can say.
There's no. I don't even think this team is gonna make the playoffs. To be honest.
I mean, with a weak NFC, James Winston could do it. So anyway, continuing on, we have Bills releasing John Brown. Now he's very fast. I think he could go for a ring chasing team. I think he'll probably do that. I think like I said, he's very fast. He'll be a good number 3 option for most teams, like he was in Buffalo. So I think you know, probably won't get a huge contract, probably around $5 million a year, probably 1 or 2 years. So yeah, John Brown, released from the Bills. They're gonna be relying on Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs and Isaiah McKenzie, I guess, to get the job done over there in Buffalo. Next, we have Kevin Zeitler being released from the Giants.
Which is shocking. This guy came over in the Beckham deal. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This guy's a star.
Yeah, this guy's really good. I think it's just because he opted out this season or something like that. What did he? I don't know. And he was costing $14.5 million to the cap hit, which, you know, not ideal for the Giants. So, you know, he's only 31, still very good. So, I expect him to go to a team and start right away. So, you know, I think now you can start the realm of ring chasing. So, I'm not sure what teams could sign him. Seahawks.
Also,
Seahawks good.
I forgot to mention this. The Texans traded Bernard.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Kyle Van Noy being released. Kenny Vaccaro was released as well. That's surprising. He was pretty good. He's an okay safety, I guess, actually. From the Titans. It saves 3.9. So boom, between Butler and Vaccaro, they're saving roughly 14 million cap space. So
also
could help.
Chiefs restructured Mahomes contract.
Oh yeah. No, hold on. We gotta get there. We're only on March 10th, man. We gotta get there first. Vikings release Riley Leaf for $11.75 million. I don't know who this man is. He must not be very good. That's all I'm gonna say. Saints released Janoris Jenkins, saving $7 million. Just more help to get underneath that cap. Could try to trade up a little bit in the draft. Try to get J.C. Horn. All right.
So yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, they could probably try to trade up in the draft and you know, try and get a guy like that. So unfortunately, Coxon just left, so it's just gonna be me. We'll try to fly through things unless something really important happens. So, yeah, saves 7 million against the cap. He's an old vet, probably just gonna go somewhere to like teach younger guys. Maybe Jacksonville could go. He could go there to try and teach Chase. I don't even know how to say his name. Took him in the first round. That's all you need to know. Surprising. This one is truly surprising. Kansas City releases offensive tackle Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. Mitchell Schwartz, when healthy, is the best tackle in the league. Eric Fisher, he was never good up until this past couple of seasons where he's been okay. He hasn't not been great, certainly not worth the first overall pick. But Mitchell Schwartz, best tackle in the league when healthy. So with these two moves, saving 18 million, so they better be trying to trade up for an offensive lineman. In the draft, who are trying to sign Trent Williams. So I don't really know what the Chiefs are doing here. And if you can't, and when you sign Mahomes to a ginormous contract, and you can't protect him, little bit of a problem, man. Not gonna lie, maybe I'm not. This is totally absurd, but maybe he wants out of Kansas City after a little bit. So hey, just a theory. Texans restructure Brandon Cook's deal a little bit. Free agent after the 2022 season. Ray McLeod 1 year deal. It's whatever. Lions release Jesse James and Justin Coleman. Coleman, he's decent at corner, slot corner. Could go to many teams. I know Seahawks. I've seen a couple Seahawks fans who want him, so could go there. Next one, Mark Ingram with the Texans. Gonna be sharing carries with David Johnson next year. And, with him being, as old as he is and not as good as he is, you'd expect him to go ring chasing. And Houston Texans is not a place to go ring chasing, my man. So, obviously, like I said, he'll be sharing carries with David Johnson. So, 1 year, $3 million deal. It's whatever. I mean, it's okay. Bills and linebacker Matt Milano agreed to a 4-year, $44 million extension. Great move. Matt Milano is a sneaky good linebacker, and he has been pretty solid for a while. So, I mean, maybe a little bit overpaid, just a tad, but Matt Milano is, he's probably top 20 linebackers in the league. Certainly not amazing, certainly not horrible, but good enough. He's going to be an anchor on that Bills defense, and yeah. Sorry if I'm, talking really fast. We're an hour and 17 minutes into this, and and there's still a lot to talk about. Falcons are re-signing Pro Bowl kicker Young Ho Koo. What a guy. 37 for 39, including 8 kicks from 50 or longer. Fantastic move. Good job. You got your kicker of the future, Atlanta. Good job. Another kicker deal. We got Cairo Santos returning to the Bears, 3-year deal. He was pretty good last year, 30 for 32 with the Bears, and no double doinks with him. So yeah, good move by the Bears. Next, we got Ravens re-signing Pernell McPhee. He's been an okay linebacker. I'm confusing him with Matt Judon for some reason. He's been okay, more of a pass rusher now. So I mean, that Ravens defense is always going to be good with those corners, and I think Pernell McPhee still can be good. Next, we got Cam Newton returning to the Patriots and trading back for Trent Brown. I think reassures the Pats' confidence in Cam Newton that he can be good. Yes, his numbers weren't great last year, but look at the receivers he had to work with. Julian Edelman was hurt most of the year. N'Keal Harry's awful. Damiere Byrd and Jacoby Myers were some pleasant surprises, but you can't rely on them to be your number 1 and 2 receivers. So, I think they try to go after a guy like Devonta Smith at number 15 or Jalen Waddle at 15. Try to sign a guy out of free agency. Maybe they go after Kenny Golladay. Maybe they go after Will Fuller. Maybe they go after Juju. I'm not really sure. But they also need tight end. Their tight ends are awful. Like Asia C, I think is his name and is the starter. He's not very good. Had 1 catch for 26 yards and a touchdown. So, hey, very good things, very good, efficient touchdown efficiency out of him. So, Cam Newton returning to the Patriots, 1 year, $14 million. I mean, probably it's definitely overpaying for a guy who can't throw the ball more than 10 yards anymore. So I think this is just gonna be another 7-9, 8-8 season for the Pats here. Which thank you. So yeah, Cam Newton is just not what he was anymore. But I think with a second year in the system, actual preseason, actually training camp, actual OTAs, so I think Cam Newton will be better than he was last year. Do I think he'll return to his 2015 MVP form? Absolutely not. Saints released Quan Alexander. He used to be pretty good with the Bucks and 49ers, just has lost it the past couple of years, saving $13.4 million this year. He was hurt this year, but I'm seeing something that says it's not out of the question that the two sides could consider a union when he gets healthy. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what to make about that. Next, Tom Brady signs a 4-year, but actually 1-year extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just one of those weird cap rules where you sign a guy, they actually do this and that and that. So this, I'm not really sure. 1 year, $19 million, saves $19 million. The additional voidable years are there to defray the cost. Whatever that means, I'm not really sure if I'm being honest with you. Tom Brady tweets out, pursuit of 8... LFG at Buccaneers, we're keeping the band together. So Tom Brady will be there until he's 45. This man is out to destroy the universe. So, Anyway, continuing on, another Texans move, so many Texans moves. Christian Kirksey agreed to a 1-year deal with them, worth up to $4.5 million. He's been hurt the past couple of seasons. He can be okay. He's not going to be anything special like that. He's just there because the Texans are very bad on defense, and any signing they make will be an improvement over whoever they have. Cardinals re-signing Robert Alfred. Don't really know who that is. Steelers are re-signing veteran offensive lineman B.J. Finney. Remember last week we talked about him getting released. He's back with the Steelers now. He's going to be depth, I guess. I don't really know. Darrell Williams next with the Bills. 3-year, $28.2 million, 14 guaranteed. Darrell Williams is pretty good, and I think protecting Josh Allen, maybe trying to beef up that running game, maybe you take Najee Harris or Travis Etienne. Sorry for that. At the end of the first round. So, I think re-signing Darrell Williams was a must this offseason for the Bills, and they did that. So good job, you guys. Chiefs, we already talked about restructuring Patrick Mahomes' contract and all that. Chargers release offensive lineman Try Turner 1 year after trade. I don't know who this is, if I'm being honest. I do know he's not very great. He's probably just gonna be there for depth. 49ers and cornerback Emmanuel Mosley reach a 2-year deal. 2-year, $10.1 million. He's okay. He's gonna be a nice 3 corner for them, assuming they can maybe they'll sign someone like that, or maybe they go after Marshawn Lattimore to replace Richard Sherman. He's obviously much better than Richard Sherman, much younger and everything like that. So Emmanuel Mosley will be a nice number 2 or 3 corner. Wasn't awful this year, so nice little deal. You got to deal with in that division. You got to deal with DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Trying to think who else on the Rams. You got Cooper Kupp and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods to deal about. So any cornerback help for anyone in that division is helpful. Chargers are releasing Casey Hayward Jr. Cornerback spent 5 seasons with the franchise after signing free agent in 2016. Played 14 games, 13 starts last year. And so yeah, Casey Hayward, he's older. He's not amazing or anything like that, like he used to be, but I think he could go anywhere. Probably ring chase. Be a nice little number 3 corner, maybe number 2, just depending. And maybe he tries to work on his his game this offseason and can become a number 2 cornerback for the team. So, yeah, teams that, I mean, there are so many teams that need a corner. It would take forever to list them all, so I'm not going to do that right now. And next, Nate Soldier expected back with Giants on a reworked deal. So I believe he opted out this season. So he's still a top tackle in the game. He was not great with the Giants his first year, but I expect him to return back this year, healthy, good mindset, and ready to put in some work and go back to that top tackle in the league, level. Obviously, Cosen mentioned this a little bit earlier. Mario Edwards signing a 3-year, $11.5 million deal with the Bears. He had a career high 4 sacks in 15 games for the Bears last season. He's 27. He'll be there till he's 30. He's just there to, for some depth. Next we're gonna skip that. Doesn't matter. Next, we have some very unfortunate news. Drew Brees has retired at 15 years on the day that he signed with the Saints. I couldn't think of the team name, but now Saints, so they're not gonna be great. I'm expecting 8-8, 9-7 next year for them, with Jameis Winston at the helm. But Drew Brees is one of the best, if not the best, quarterback of all time. But he's probably second best, even though he does have a little bit better stats in less years. Maybe not better stats, but compared to 5 less years than Brady, you can make the argument that he's better. He's done more. He's done just about the same in less amount of time. So take it how you want. Next, Dolphins and but yeah, Drew Brees, one of the greatest of all time. Very sad to see him go. We've expected this for a long time, and it has finally come. I think he was just waiting for 15 years on the day since he became a Saint. So very sad news today. Yeah. Next, we're gonna be backing up a little bit, but Nodrick McKinney to the Dolphins for Shaq Lawson in exchanging 7th round picks. But Nodrick McKinney is more of a coverage linebacker, gets, a lot of tackles, doesn't really rush the passer that much. Meanwhile, Shaq Lawson is more of a pass rusher, so, I think this is just due to the fact that we released Kyle Van Noy. He's a little bit younger than Van Noy, a little bit younger than Lawson. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. It's nothing special or anything like that. Next, Patriots trading Marcus Cannon to the Texans. Swap of mid to late round picks. Marcus Cannon, he's okay. He used to be like pretty good. Now he's not amazing. So it's an okay trade for both teams. Late round picks. This is much of what we've been seeing for a while now. So, yeah. But the big news about contracts from today is Packers re-signing Aaron Jones, 4-year, $48 million, including a $13 million signing bonus. I was really hoping, after I heard the news that he wasn't gonna be franchise tag, I was like, let's go, Miami Dolphins, let's go sign him. But now that is not a reality anymore. So, he's back with the Packers, and this team is very much in a win now mode, and with the 30th pick in this draft, they could try to trade up for a receiver, not trade up for a quarterback this time. So I definitely think that they draft a receiver and they get Devontae Adams some help. So this is a team in a win now mode. They kept Preston Smith. So I definitely do think that this is a team that can compete. Obviously, they made it to the NFC Championship game, and one bad decision from Matt LaFleur from possibly winning it. So I definitely think that the Packers are in a situation to repeat. Aaron Jones is top 10 running back in the game, no question about it. So I'm just very concerned that offensive line might not be enough. But obviously, David Bakhtiari coming back from injury next year is very important to that team. So, the Packers, as much as I want to say that they're going to lose in the NFC Championship game next year, I just don't know if it'll happen. I think they might actually make it to the Super Bowl next year, which is crazy to say. The memes with like them always losing the NFC Championship game. But that's really it. There was a lot to talk about, man. I am sounding like John Gruden there. You know what, man? So yeah, that was my John Gruden impression. Hope you guys liked it. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this episode of the New Flame Sports Podcast. A little bit of a longer episode, an hour and a half now. So if you like this episode, go ahead and hit the like button. If you like what we're doing around here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will try to get these coming back out on Sunday. Just times just never line up for us. So yeah, we will see you next week. Peace.